Well, I guess Harden will get a ring then after all. He would just have to pay for it.
This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto, and the day has finally come. Euro 2024 is officially underway. Kicking off with the heavily favored hosts from Germany taking on Scotland. The Germans looking to bounce back from the round of 16 early exit last tourney. Let's get to some highlights, shall we? In less than a minute in, we almost had a stunner. Florian Wirtz sprung on a break, but he is robbed by Angus Gunn. But less than 10 minutes later, Wirtz would get his revenge on Gunn.
Delivers a pinpoint pass. Space for Wirtz! What a save, but it's in off the post! And Germany, inside 10 minutes, lights the fuse to illuminate Euro 2024!
Gunn got a piece of this one too, but this time unable to keep it out, and the host nation strikes first. And they weren't done there. 19th minute, Jamal Musiala shows great composure in traffic before blasting it upstairs. Germany doubled its lead within the first 20 minutes. Late in the half, Ryan Porteous with the clumsy challenge in the box, and he'd be shown a straight red for that. Scotland down to 10 men. And Kai Havertz makes the Scots pay with a clinical penalty. The first time Germany has ever scored 3 goals in the first half at the Euros. 68th minute, Niklas Füllkrug unleashes an absolute rocket into the top corner. That's the exclamation mark on an absolute dominant performance by Germany on home soil. Both teams would add a goal late as Germany runs away with it 5-1. So let's take a quick look at the early standings from Group A. The host Germans off to the races with a well-earned 3 points, while Scotland sits in last after the loss. Remember, Germany hasn't won this tournament since 1996. And well, this was the only game on the docket today. Tomorrow is a full day of exciting Euro action, beginning bright and early at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on TSN. First up is Hungary and Switzerland, then a heavyweight clash between Spain and Croatia, and ending with Italy and Albania. And if you don't currently have a TSN subscription, now is the time to pounce on an incredible offer. Until July 2nd, you can purchase 4 months of TSN for just $50. And that also includes TSN Plus. Enjoy our exclusive coverage of the Euros, Copa America, the final 2 golf majors, and last 2 tennis Grand Slams of the year, plus the kickoff to the NFL season. Click the link to subscribe, terms apply. Canadian hockey fans, how are we feeling this morning? Because the Stanley Cup will be in the Edmonton Oilers building on Saturday night. It just, won't be there for the Oilers. Because the Panthers are now officially just 1 win away from hoisting Lord Stanley after last night's 4-3 win over the Oil. And despite the fact that they won the first 2 games, Florida's big guns have been fairly quiet up until this point in the series, with the depth mostly being the ones to get things done offensively. But that came to an end last night when the big dogs came to play. Barkov, Tarasenko, Reinhardt, and Bennett all got on the board with goals. And Matthew Tkachuk added about as slick of an assist as you can get. But once again, the story of the night was Bobrovsky, who absolutely stole Game 1 of the series. And there's a case to be made that he stole Game 3 too. His play this postseason and the Cup Final specifically has been insane. And according to Big Head Hockey, that's the best performance by goalie ever in a Stanley Cup Final. Obviously, it's only been 3 games, but that's so crazy. Because who would have thought we would be 3 games into this series, and McDavid and Draisaitl would have combined for only 3 assists, and their unstoppable power play would go totally silent. It just doesn't seem possible for that duo, but here we are. And while the shutdown is obviously a combination of Barkov, excellent D, and Officer Bobrovsky, Oilers fans are taking their time this morning explaining another reason too. And his name is Dan O'Rourke. The Oilers' record under him was already awful, but it didn't get any better last night, especially with a couple controversial non-calls in the final minutes. And the kicker, he is from Calgary. So we'll see if the Oilers can hang on long enough to make it to 5 games, or we might have a new Stanley Cup champ come Monday.
This is going to be a mini oil painting in an Altoids tin painted with warm white, bismuth yellow, magenta, and cobalt teal.
Time now for my favorite segment and yours, that we love sports today.
Why we love sports today.
The penultimate major of the golf season is already underway at Pinehurst, but we need you to see this incredible piece of art from the site of last weekend's Memorial Tournament at Muirfield Village. Let's hear from the artist himself at the 18th hole. Take it away, Remington Robinson. Because if your parents name you Remington with the last name Robinson, you better hope that you're famous. If you're just there working a 9 to 5, I don't know. I don't know.
This is going to be a mini oil painting in an Altoids tin painted with warm white, bismuth yellow, magenta, and cobalt teal. With my largest flat brush, I'm mixing orange to cover my whole surface with a thin layer of paint, which not only makes it easy to edit the lights and darks in the composition, but the orange will also be visible here and there, adding a subtle warmth to the final painting. Now I'm doing the blocking in phase, filling all the main areas with color. And with the same brush, I can also start to define smaller areas as well, including the clock tower here at Muirfield Village Golf Club. This is probably a good time to switch to the small detail brush so that I can paint the roof, the little windows, as well as the clock face on the tower. And now I can probably start to wrap up the painting, but before I finish I want to paint those sand traps in around the green at the 18th hole, and some small hits of color for the spectators who are just beginning to flood into the golf course for the 2024 Memorial Tournament, which is held every year here at Muirfield Village Golf Club in Dublin, Ohio.
Oh my gosh, Remington! Look at you, little angel, painting on the course like that. Please, a little miniature Bob Ross. That was sweet. Why do they always make it seem like painting is easy when it's not? And you can catch moving day coverage of the US Open tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific on TSN. The NBA Finals could be coming to an early end tonight, as the Celtics will go for the clean sweep of the Mavs. Luka and Kyrie will hope for a different fate in Game 4 tonight, as they try to become the first NBA team to ever overcome a 3-0 series deficit. Despite putting up great numbers and overcoming injuries in these finals, Doncic has struggled immensely late in all 3 games in his first finals, and he's coming under fire for his lack of effort defensively, which seems to be a disturbing trend this postseason. In the last 2 years, he owns the 3 worst blown by percentages in a playoff series, and the worst being these finals so far. Meanwhile, the Celtics could win their record-setting 18th title tonight, which would break a tie with the rival Lakers for the most all-time. And it's fitting that Jason Tatum is in the exact same position as his old high school buddy Matthew Tkachuk. Both of their teams are up for a chance to sweep in their respective championships. And if you wanted evidence that they went to school together, here it is. Aw, look at how precious they are, so young, with their lives ahead of them. Time now for the CFL Preview, powered by FanDuel. It's been a pretty stunning start to the CFL season. The perennial powerhouse from Winnipeg is already 0-2 to start the campaign. But could we be in for another upset tonight? The defending champs pay a visit to the Elks, and Montreal enters as a pretty heavy road favorite. And we already see a huge shift in the early Grey Cup futures, as the Bombers are no longer the favorites to win it all. The Owls now hold the slight edge as the favorite, while their opponent tonight brings up the rear. And you can catch Friday Night Football on TSN tonight at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. That's it for me today. We'll see you right back here Monday at our new time for the Euro. It's 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. And I know we didn't talk about it today, so for all my Kujin out there, Forza Zuri. Let's go.